paddle that he did over his own head. I
Mm.
was like, I have to show it. I was like, did you see that? He's like, oh no, I didn't see it. You sent me a video, and I send you a video, and you're like, what the?
I can't.
What
I
just?
can't have enough screens on KO.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah,
there's only limit of 2 screens,
yeah,
so it's like
yeah.
trying to watch all the cricket.
Yeah. Hey everyone, welcome back to Hit Wicket, and today we are doing our second review of the day. So the second incredible test match that has occurred. England has beaten India at home. This is the fourth test win against India at home in 10 years. I think that says a lot. Australia done it twice, and now this is England's second time. And I saw the stat that India have never ever lost a game when they were had a lead of
Lead of
above
100.
100 or more,
Yeah.
and their lead wasn't just 100, it was 190. So to say that BAZBALL has succeeded, I mean, I think a lot of people were doubting after that second day, even third day. Up to third day, a lot of people were saying that BAZBALL's shit, like it hasn't performed or anything like that. It's over for them. They're going to lose 5-0, and I have to say, I probably didn't really believe in BAZBALL like when it started. I think when the Pakistan thing, they did pretty well there, but the Pakistan side wasn't. They were a bit weak of the side. They still are at the moment, but then when they versed Australia in the Ashes, I know Australia's tactics weren't great, but the way they were surging with that momentum after being 2-0 down, that was pretty impressive. I think they went blow for blow with Australia. I think the right result happened 2-2. I think if it had gone any longer, England probably would have won, to be honest. The way they were just surging through the Australians by the end. And well, this is another brilliant result. I think this probably is the best test match from BAZBALL so far. To beat India at India after being in a deficit of 190 runs, that's incredible. And I think, firstly, I mean, there's a few men of the moment actually in this game, not just in the West Indies games, just Shamaz Joseph, but this game's a few. I think we have to start off with Ollie Pope and that 196, was it 95 or something?
95, I think, maybe. Or maybe it was 96. I can't remember. 196, maybe. Yeah.
Whatever it was incredible. Those reverse paddles. I remember. I think you were watching the Windies game, and we were both switching back and forth. I was watching the England versus India game, and I saw that paddle that he did over his own head. I was like, I have to show it. I was like, did you see that? He's like, oh no, I didn't see it. You sent me a video, and I send you a video, and you're like, what the?
I can't have enough screens on KO. Unfortunately, there's only limit of 2 screens, so it's like trying to watch all the cricket. On the TV on my phone. My wife is like, what the hell are you doing? You're watching cricket on the TV and your phone.
If you don't know what KO is, it's basically like the streaming thing for cricket. Yeah, for sports in Australia. Yeah. But it was it was incredible, that knock. I mean, what did you think? Did you have any? I mean, I never expected Ollie Pope to produce that. If I'm being totally honest with myself, what did you think of the knock?
Oh, look, I think, he has shown that he's a good player of spin before, and he really needed that knock because I think he only just got back into the side after his injury.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I watched the early parts of the innings and he looked like pretty good. He was like sweeping really well, reverse sweeping quite well, working the ball coming down the wicket pretty well, almost at will. He was like scoring. And he just played like really attacking, and you can see the Indian balls didn't really know where to bowl, and he was like not missing the reverse sweep like ever, pretty much. I think he missed one when he was like 190 something. I saw him miss one, which the Indians reviewed. From what I saw, there might have been maybe 1 or 2 more, but yeah, he just like reverse sweeping and sweeping so well, and the Indian bowling attack didn't know where to bowl to him. It was obviously his best knock. He was just unstoppable. Yeah, that's probably one way to put it. Really, at the end of the day, he ended up getting himself out because he ran out of partners. I think he was 9 down, trying to go for double 100 or something. Actually, he wasn't. They were 9 down. So at the end of the day, he just had to let the ball hit his own stumps basically for them to get him out. So otherwise it probably would be still batting now, probably on 400 by now. So incredible batsmanship there to get to that score in those conditions, subcontinent. Doesn't happen very often for overseas batsmen to get, a big 100 like that.
No.
Yeah, just incredible. And plus, they were also behind in the game.
Mm.
Just a lot of things. And also a big credit to the lower order for sticking around. But granted, their lower order isn't like a normal lower order. They can pretty much mostly bat.
Yeah.
I mean, even I think Ryan Ahmed's got like a first class century. And I think Hartley averages like 30 in first class. So yeah, obviously those guys probably can bat like 7-8, to be honest. But they did well. They supported him well, and yeah, it was just really good to watch. Them scratching their hands after being down from the game. It's just like an incredible knock.
Yeah,
he might not ever play a knock like that ever again in his career.
Yeah,
but it was just incredible. It came at that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, really well done to him, and hopefully he can just take off from here and keep doing well.
Yeah.
Because batting in India is really a specialist skill. It's not anything like batting in England. So
no, definitely not. Yeah.
So it's really good to see him do that.
Yeah. I would say that innings is probably in the caliber of Joe Root's double 100, and I would say Steve Smith's 100. Yeah, he got 3, but that first one that he scored. That was an absolute minefield. I don't know how he scored 100 there. That was one of the best 100s I've ever seen. But
that 100 was something.
I think it's Pune was it? I think Pune.
I think so, but that was like dragging like a long way. I don't know how the hell he got 100 on that. Like this was still dragging and turning and stuff, but not like that. Yeah.
I know that was. I think it was just 105 or something, but that was. One of the best 100s I've ever seen.
It was like insane 100. It was like literally turning like so much.
I think he got dropped as well like 2-3 times, but that was incredible. That was probably the best knock. But now this was probably, I think, Jared's double 100 was really good too, to be honest. I did see all of that live as well, so I'd say it's on par with it. And both resulted in wins, funnily enough. It shows that you need like a double 100 to beat India, basically. When he Benson scored double 100. But it was a very good knock from Pope. And as you were saying, I think a good mention to the rest of the English batsmen, especially that tail order. Ryan Ahmed, Tom Hartley, both innings, both of them scored like runs. They both got, I believe, 50 partnerships in both innings.
I think so. And then Folks scored some as well, like 30
Folks was very solid. He got 39, I think it was, until he got one that rolled basically on him. He looked quite solid, and I actually saw his average in India is like 40 or something. So it's I know they were actually thinking of not including him had Harry Brook come.
His keeping was really good too, actually.
I think you can't.
I don't think
best
would have probably kept.
Don't make jokes here. That's. Best I can't keep. Let's be honest here, but
it's a tough place to keep, honestly, in India.
You
might be able to get away with it with seamers, but against spinners, that really where the keepman. Is that even the word?
Keepmanship,
keepmanship, or keeping ship or something.
Keeping.
Gotta be gender neutral. So
keeping.
Keep the craftsmanship
keep personship.
It's a specialist skill again, and Folks did a really good job behind some. Just like the way he kept against those low balls, the ones that bounced well. Yeah, even the Indian keeper, forgot his name. What's the Indian keeper's name? Simon B.
Bharat.
But he was also kept pretty well too. Actually, it's not easy. It's not easy to keep in India. So
no.
Yeah, it is worth having a specialist keeper, definitely.
100%. So good order batting. Obviously, quick mention to Ben Stokes on that first innings. He got them to like some sort of total with a really good knock there. He looked well on his way to 102 in that first innings. Then obviously the Indian bowlers were made to look a bit clueless in that second innings. But I personally, as I was watching the game, I was wondering, like, the conditions seemed to sort of get easier, honestly, for batting a little bit. But I was wondering if that was because the Indian bowlers aren't bowling too well, or Ollie Pope's just batting too well. But we'll see what happens in the fourth innings. I was like, if India chases like none down or something, then maybe the deck was just easy to bat on. But then our second, I would say, man of the moment, Tom Hartley. My God, what a comeback! I mean, from getting hit 6 for the first point in his Test career, to not only getting 38, I think it was. Or he got like 35 runs with the bat in the second
Something
innings.
like that, yeah.
Then he picked up 7 wickets. It's incredible comeback. I mean, that first innings, I was telling you, I was like, this guy. I actually really rated his batting. I was like, this guy looks like a batsman who bowls. Doesn't look like a bowler who bats. If that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
he was bowling so much loose stuff in that first innings, but obviously taking into consideration his first test against one of the best sides ever. They're probably the strongest side, like relatively in their own home ground, like in the world. You can say that with their record,
Yeah.
and facing the likes of Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, those big names. Jaiswal pretty attacking. Gill got a name for himself, although don't know if he's a test batsman. But yeah, he got all of them actually. He got first 4 wickets and then he cleaned up at the end there. But 7 for, I think it was 40, maybe 50 runs. And in saying that also, Jack Leach was partially injured, so he had to step up or they wouldn't have won because Jack Leach barely bowled in that second innings. So yeah, I think if you want to mention a bit on Tom Hartley, but I thought that was a standout comeback performance. And also, I wonder also to ask you do you think that Ben Stokes pursuing with him in that first innings again and again, even when he was getting smashed, he got hit for like 160 off 25 or 28 overs or something like that. Do you think that helped in his confidence for the second innings?
Look, I think Ben Stokes probably would have kept backing him because that's probably his style, whether he was doing well or not. Because to be honest, like, I think the Indian bowlers specifically targeted him a lot more.
The Indian
It
batters,
wasn't
you mean?
necessarily. Sorry, the batters were targeting him. Not necessarily because he's bowling that like badly or anything. Like he was still bowling okay, but debutant, they probably took a liking to him and tried to attack him because obviously he's probably the weaker bowler coming in. But I'm sure Stokes would have kept backing him, and as a result, he contributed with the bat, would have helped his confidence, and then when you come in, with because he's obviously a batter, he's obviously a bowler who can bat a bit, judging by his first class record. If you get some runs, it'll give you some confidence to get wickets as well. Typically, like a lot of lower order bats, like when they score some runs, they also bowl well too. So I'm sure that would have helped with his confidence, and Stokes would have been backing him the whole way, I'm sure. Because he's that sort of leader. Because if he, how much he backed Zach Crawley when he was struggling and not really doing that well, I'm sure he would have been doing very similar with Hartley, just backing him. Like, we selected you think you're the man for the job, so now just show us that we're right, sort of thing. So and he came good. He bowled absolutely brilliantly, and just they'll think twice about attacking him now and following the later games of this series. He's not just some pushover. So top effort to him.
No, it's funny you say that. Actually, I was watching Ben Stokes' interview after the press conference and how he exactly was mentioning that. He was like, I would keep backing him even if he didn't perform, because he said, like, his logic was pretty sound. He was like, well, we have a 5-test series. He's going to have to play a role in this test, like again, or later tests as well. So I have to keep bowling him, keep backing him, because he's going to have to play a role for us if we have any chance. And I thought that is quite sound thinking, honestly. We can probably look back in the Ashes where I think Cummins missed a trick not backing Todd Murphy a bit more when he was bred for those later tests. He sort of just threw him under the bus and just gave him like the worst scenarios to bowl in, or one over before drinks, stuff like that. But Ben Stokes, I mean, his captaincy has shown that he's backed his players, and he does go by what he's suggesting. Like BAZBALL, he does like play very attacking. He was obviously a bit more defensive in this game until the end, then he exploded. But I actually now understand what he was trying to do. I think in that first era of BAZBALL where he was just trying to hack everything, he sort of wasn't batting too well. But now I understand. I believe he was trying to more send a message to the team that this is the way I want to play for the next whatever era that my captaincy is under. And he was always going to go back to how he batted originally, like he did this game. But I think he was trying to get that message there, that this is how we want to play. And once the players follow the message, which they have now, then he can revert back to how he normally bats. And I've sort of noticed that, like in the recent games, he sort of has batted a bit more like his normal self instead of just trying to hack everything. And the players are following through. I mean, they're all playing very well under his captaincy. Ben Duckett looked very good for his both innings. He just sort of got he got a pretty good ball, to be honest. Bumrah's in a good spell there. Crawley looked decent as well. Second innings, both innings. He got a couple of good balls too. Ollie Pope obviously performed very well. The bowlers felt backed. I know Rehan Ahmed didn't perform very well this game, but Stokes even backed him in periods too. And that might help his confidence later down the line. He did still get
he got valuable runs.
Yeah, he got runs. He got a wicket. He does show like a lot of loyalty to his players, and that fearless brand of cricket it does reap rewards. I mean, we can talk as much shit as we want about BAZBALL and how Australia drew this series, took home the Ashes and whatnot, but it's been pretty good, BAZBALL. I mean, they've only lost three games, I think, so far. I think 2 against Australia and 1 against South Africa, I believe.
There's one where they got rolled. Was that against South Africa? Where they got rolled? Yeah.
And I think the close one against New Zealand, so 4 tests, I think. Yeah. But overall, it's been a good strategy. And honestly, out of all the captains in the world right now, I think Ben Stokes is the best, just tactical wise. His field settings, his aggression. He's very much in the game. He's very thinking. I think there's a lot of times you see other captains in the world, you're like, are they thinking? Yeah. Well, like, what are they doing? Are they really thinking about it? But like, for just a little thing from this game, I can just say when Hartley was bowling to when Gill came in, they put a short mid off on the offside, and I remember how many millions of times in Australia they mention how that position's never used. Like captains don't use that position when they should. Like Cummins doesn't use it. Away teams captains don't use it, but Stokes got him right in there, right in close, and Gill gave him catching practice. So that was really good to see. I think you really love seeing Gill get out as well like that. But
I love Gill. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay, buddy.
Especially when he's acting like a muppet, which he does 90% of the time. So.
Man, his averages actually Jadeja averages more than like 3 of the batsmen, I believe. They were mentioning that.
His average is like 37, isn't it?
Yeah. Gill's is like 30, I think. Rahul averages 33. So Jadeja's averaging more than 2 or 3 of the batsmen there.
Rahul that's a bit disappointing. Should probably be averaging a bit more, but his role's also been like changing a lot. Like he's keeping one day, he's not keeping. They probably need to give him like a set role. Like you are a top 4 bats, like you just focus on your batting, but then they randomly make him keep and stuff. And what's gonna happen when Pant becomes fit then? Then they're gonna and Kohli comes back. Then what's gonna happen? They're gonna drop KL?
Maybe.
I'm sure Pant will have to go through some first class cricket before.
It'll be between Rahul and Iyer, I think. Yeah. Shreyas Iyer.
Yeah, true. Yeah, straight. Yeah, exactly.
But actually, in saying that name, Virat Kohli, do you think India looked a bit open there in the bat without Virat Kohli there? I think seemed there.
Of course, I mean, you take Virat Kohli out. I don't know. He's got 10,000 test runs or something. Obviously, by now, I'm sure. So his experience and his class, when you remove someone like that, leaves a hole that you can't really fill that easily. They put Gill there to try to fill it, I guess. Unfortunately, not Gill. I guess was it I at 4 or was KL at 4? I don't remember.
I think KL.
I think KL Rahul.
Yeah, I think KL Rahul.
I'm not tell KL randomly in the second innings. But the middle order did look a bit hollow. You're sort of like, who's gonna be able to score the 50 like in the second innings, which you might probably need one. It did look a bit more hollow. But I mean, if you take Virat Kohli out of their side, it's going to leave gaps in their batting, and I'm sure Virat Kohli would have been very handy in the second innings, especially because the busyness of which he plays spin. It would be very hard for the spinners to mount pressure on him because he's quite busy against spin. He won't smack you for boundaries necessarily. I mean, he can, but like it's very hard to just string together like 3-4 balls at him because he just keeps rotating the strike. And in these sort of chases, you need that. So yeah, he's going to hopefully come back in the second test, and it'll be really interesting to see how he goes. What
I think he's
conditions he come
missing
up
the
with him.
second test as well. I think he's going back third test, so it's
Oh yeah,
interesting.
sorry, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, third
Yeah,
test. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes when he comes back in the third test.
Mm.
But it will make a definite shift, and even like the players like look up to him and believe in him too.
Yeah.
It also brings up their morale too,
yeah,
and he's in that side because
Mm.
he's going to be pushing them along too. Because he does work in tandem a lot with Rohit Sharma.
yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah, they, yeah, they, I don't know how you can really feel his absence, which is a problem they're going to have next game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm.
yeah, I mean they did that well first innings, but I guess there weren't any hundreds in there, so again they probably got starts, couldn't go through with it.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but I have to say they did bowl a lot better than England in the first innings, India, and then England came back,
Yeah.
from nowhere with Pope's batting, and then they bowled really well. They
Mm.
figured out what speeds to bowl, or Hartley figured out what speeds to bowl, and even the other bowlers played their part. Like each bowled pretty well. Joe
Joe
Root bowled
Root.
pretty
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit underrated actually. I think Joe Root. And yeah, even Mark Wood bowled, obviously didn't get too many wickets, but he bowled pretty tight.
Mm.
Creates some plays and misses some pressure. Yeah, so yeah, so this series is set up poised in a pretty interesting way, and it can go anywhere from here. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how it goes, how India deals with it, and also I guess England have some injuries. Now I don't know if Jack Leach will play or what his issue is, something with his knee or something like that.
Mm.
So it leaves the series in an interesting state
Mm.
leading into the second test, which would be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, without Virat Kohli, England could well go on a bit of a roll here before he comes
It's
back.
very possible they could, yeah.
But again, let's not lose our minds because India love losing that first test. They've done it like all the other ones were their first test they lost. Like the previous 3 wins, they were all first match of the series they lost, and then they came back and won every other game. And India will bounce back. They're not a team that's just going to get rolled. So
Exactly, yeah. They will bounce back,
they're 100% bounce
Yeah.
back. And they were
But I think
ahead for most of the game, to be honest. They just
they
lost in the
were.
last 2 days. Yeah.
So I think the big question mark they have at the moment is what they sort of do with Gill, if they just keep backing him this series, or they bring someone else in.
I think they
maybe
back him till
send.
Kohli comes back. And if he doesn't
Yeah,
if he doesn't get runs this game, he's out. I think.
yeah, he's out. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think if they do send him out, I think they probably should get like some first class cricket under his belt. If I don't know if Ranji Trophy is going on or what,
I
because
think it is. Yeah, I think
it is. Yeah, they should like use that opportunity to send him back instead of holding him in the squad.
Yeah.
Because he's a very good white ball player, and he needs to probably. It would be good for him to get some match practice in like red ball cricket to try to figure out what tempo he should play at and what areas that he's sort of struggling in. Because he does look like he's struggling a bit in red ball at the moment, at home anyway, which is like you need. Yeah, I mean India's his home, so he's been struggling against the spin at the moment there. So it might be good for him to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, a great match overall. I guess I forgot actually to mention that run out. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, that's Stokes run out. We didn't even know where he was looking or whatever. Yeah,
Ben Stokes, my god! Like as you said, Virat Kohli's effect on India is like Ben Stokes' for England. It's the same thing, same sort of player. Those players bring you up, whether they're captain or not. I know Kohli's not, but whether they're not, like those players just do superhero things. They just do it. No other players can do that sort of stuff. Like when the pressure, like players can do it maybe once, twice, but these guys do it like 10, 15, like they've done it 10 times in their career. Kohli's done it plenty of times. Stokes has done it plenty of times. They just show up, and players follow players who show up. And India sort of look like they need a bit of energy in there.
They need that Kohli energy. I think they're
do,
missing. Yeah. They're missing that a little bit with their batting, and maybe even when they're bowling, like that. The Kohli is always like pretty fired up, and gets the players going.
Yeah.
They might have been missing that a little bit.
Boomer was definitely showing that aggression. He was there,
Yeah,
thereabouts. He had a good reverse swing spell in there.
yeah. He actually bought quite well.
Yeah, he looked quite threatening. But
Mm.
yeah, overall, what a day of Test cricket. The two big boys, India and Australia, have been knocked down by West Indies. I guess England are a big team in themselves as well, but they've beaten India at home. Who would have thought that? And West Indies have beaten Australia at home. I would say the West Indies one's probably more impressive.
Yeah,
But I'm not undermining the England one either, because that also is extremely impressive. I think
yes.
a lot of Indians and other non-English fans were laughing at the prospect of BAZBALL in India, that they're going to get rolled for like 40 or something, and it's going to be innings defeat. But Ben
Didn't
Stokes,
happen.
Ben
Yeah, I'm
Stokes
sure
is
they will
crazy.
have games where they might get rolled because
Yeah.
this is a 5-test series because of the way they play. But they're giving themselves a chance to try to play attacking, get into positions where they can potentially win.
Yeah.
And the only way you can do that is by scoring runs, and they're trying to do that in an aggressive manner, so they have more time on their side. So
I think it'll be. I still think it'll be probably 3-2 India, but I think England can. I reckon get one more punch in there, like one more.
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely believe they can. Yeah. It was a good game. I think I have no more to add. Just good day of Test cricket. Unless you have anything else to add.
No, I think I'm good. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
No. All good. Long live Test cricket.